Can you hear the slurp? I
So
hate
good.
when
Do
people
we sound
slurp their
good?
coffee.
I don't run into that. I don't run into that nearly as much as I thought I would as an adult. Like slurping.
You don't run into the slurping, or you don't run into the fact that you are annoyed by slurping.
No, I don't run into people who slurp almost ever. Maybe it's like one of those things where it's like if you don't know the annoying person in the group, you're the annoying person in
Maybe
the group.
you don't slurp. I'll tell you that.
I don't think I slurp.
You're not a slurper.
Slurper. Slurping.
Don't slurp your coffee.
This is what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Are we babies yet? At this point?
Speaking of slurping, cue the baby. Why are we babies today?
Because it's progress.
It is progress.
Because it's the future. Mm-hmm. We've been able to turn ourselves into adorable bouncing babies.
I'm so cute.
You are so cute.
I know.
In the trial run, my baby form looks weirdly like my baby.
Your real baby.
My real baby.
With a mustache.
He's also AI, so that makes sense.
I need to get a baby Daisy baby AI. That's what I need.
Daisy AI.
I need a... If you put a baby in the baby AI...
it either gets really old like Benjamin Button, or disappears and makes a rift in time and space.
I had a friend answer a question of like, how old were you when this happened? And his answer was, I was minus 7 years old, because he hadn't been born yet for 7 years until that date. And that's how he explained it. And I thought, that's actually quite accurate.
Like BC.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 7 BC.
Yeah.
Before Connor.
Before Connor. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Today is our top 3 ways we're using AI in our work from a producer's standpoint and from a creative director standpoint. So do you want to go first? We'll go back to back.
Okay.
What's your number one?
My number one is, surprise, surprise, it's ChatGPT. So right now, the landscape is such that I've experienced at least, you're taking tools, AI tools that are doing a good job with what they do, and then figuring out how to use them, in my world, for video editing and video preparation, like pre-pro. Because right now, I can't just take my video and then put it into an AI and say, do my job, which is probably good, because then it's like, what are you paying me for? But what it can do, obviously, really well is take a ton of information and organize it really effectively in whatever direction you want it to go. So for me, at the moment, that is like, I wonder what this would look like as a script. So I just write a bunch of stuff instead of having to organize it myself. It does it for me, ChatGPT. It takes, if I want to see like themes and nuance in an interview and kind of a summary, I can take the transcript of an interview that I've done, throw it into ChatGPT and ask it to organize it and bring out certain themes. I can ask it to, like, after I've done questions for an interview, I can write kind of a summary myself and then say, like, what questions should I ask? And, you know, maybe they're all the ones I've already thought of. Maybe there's some ones in there that are like, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. Because don't tell my boss, but I don't know everything, and I don't think of everything, and I don't have time to think of everything. But ChatGPT does. How about you? What's your number one?
My number one, well, I'll stay in the same category as you. It's not the number one I'm using right now, but I'll stay. I'm also using ChatGPT for a producer lens, but it's for kind of going from rather A, B to C. I'm going A to N. Mm-hmm. All right? I'm just skipping a bunch of steps. Mm-hmm. And what that really is like production schedules, mm-hmm. Balancing our workload, but also here are the steps I need to take for my production based on pre-pro, scouting, casting, pre-interviews, production book creation, all of our functional tasks that are repeatable from project to project. Right. I input those into ChatGPT. Here's the due date that I need to try to achieve. Here's how long it takes these things to actually happen. And it'll kick me out a nice calendar of events. Mm-hmm. Kind of get me to the place I need to be. Manipulate it, of course, based on what is happening in the world, whether
Mhm.
it's holidays or PTOs or other productions that'll influence that. So ChatGPT has helped me become a faster producer
Mhm.
in those like kind of admin tasks as a
Mhm.
producer. I also really like it from a standpoint of how do I take content and then potentially version it for in a messaging platform? Like, how do I take something that we're messaging for Instagram and then can you make this more LinkedIn focused?
Right.
As a producer, it keeps me engaged of like, where's the content actually going and where's the audience? How is the audience showing up to that different platform?
Yes.
When I'm interacting with LinkedIn, I'm expecting brands and people to talk to me in a certain way versus how I show up when I'm kind of just levity in Instagram
Yep.
or if I'm visiting somebody's website and I'm
Yep.
looking for more information. So to differentiate those for each of our projects is super important. ChatGPT does a good launching point for that.
Yep.
Since I got the mic, my second one is Waldo. Waldo is a research tool.
Where is Waldo?
Where is Waldo? Can you make me baby Waldo? Can we wear Waldo clothes?
Ian, do it.
And so Waldo is a great AI resource that we have across our entire agency, and you can kind of fundamentally just distill it down to like research based.
Mhm.
So strategic research on a brand, their competitive set, their industry, their customers.
Mm.
And so from a producer's lens, it really helps me just get kind of ingrained in that industry and what that client's pain points are, what kind of deliverables they might need, how they need to communicate to their audience, kind of the buyer behavior, the customer perceptions. That just helps us do better work as marketers, right? So we can make pretty work all the time, but if it's not effectively driving results and an outcome that supports our clients, then you're wasting your money. What's the point?
Yeah,
So that's my second reason.
I
Or
like
second.
Waldo a lot as well. That's not my second, but I like that it also kind of gives it like scans news articles. So like if a client just had a new office open up or an award or something like that, it helps organize all of that so you don't have to go through 1,000 news sites to try to figure out what's what. My second one is called Otter AI, like the animal.
I want to be an otter.
I mean, who doesn't?
I heard they're kind of vicious.
I bet they are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a sea urchin, watch out. But Otter AI has nothing to do with sea urchins. It has everything to do with taking transcripts, captioning, things like that. Well, not so much captioning, but doing transcripts. That's what I use it for audio interviews or phone calls that I'm doing that are interview based. It transcribes everything really accurately, breaks it out by the speaker, and then it's searchable so that instead of like in yesteryear, I would have an audio recording and then painstakingly spend, for an hour-long interview, it'd be like 2 hours worth of starting and stopping the recording and writing it out on a keyboard. And now this just does it all for me, and it is searchable so that with my notes that I've taken, if it's like, oh, they said something really good about otters, then I can just look for otters, and it's like, oh yeah, there's the quote, and I can have utter confidence that the quote is accurate, that it's, everything is looking right, the syntax is right. And so that's what I use Otter for. Another great captioning tool that is also AI based is in Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and which is the editing software that we use. And also linked with that is the third tool that I use, which is Artlist. Artlist is a great music creation company. A lot of amazing artists work with Artlist to bring their music to the masses. It's the favorite one that I use. They also have sound effects, stock footage, and they're branching out in a big way into AI. And so when I want to, like, for example, I'm doing a video right now where I just wanted to see if the concept was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if what was in my mind was actually going to look good once it was on the screen. And instead of going through a big, long, expensive production with client hopes very high and then be like, oh, sorry, it doesn't work, shot a bunch of test footage on a location scout, brought that in, had Artlist, had ChatGPT write a dummy voiceover that was the correct amount of time, had Artlist use their AI voiceover robot to give voice to that so that I didn't have to do that myself or have a colleague do that and waste their time. Brought that in, and so like 50% of that video was AI, And it was like, okay, this is what works about this production. This is what I have to tune up before the actual production. So it helped me do like a pre-visualization technique to see how to make this video much better before cameras start rolling and stuff gets really expensive.
That's super exciting that you can kind of have that proof of concept um, lined up between uh, sample voice track, length.
Yeah.
So you have like the structure, the framework of the edit, and you can identify or how can I get into this? Is it a cold open? Are we hitting this hard?
Right.
What type of music? Shots are going to work here and there. And that's the point of AI in our industry thus far is it breaks down those barriers of the admin work
Yeah.
and gets us to the creating faster.
Yeah.
Something the third AI tool for me as a producer has been Copilot, Microsoft's Copilot, and this is more on like a client relation, new business seat of like I'm having a conversation with somebody over Teams, and I'm going to record that message, or that I'm going to record that meeting, and this way I can just be engaged with them. I don't have to be feverishly typing away on my keyboard and missing some things or distant. I'm just having a conversation, staying curious. I'm asking questions, and then I know that transcript is going to be available to me afterwards. I'm going to take that transcript, throw it into Copilot, and ask them for specific prompts. What are the goals? What are the pain points? What are some next steps, follow-ups from this meeting? What are some really relevant insights that were shared here? And I can distill that all. That helps me carry that information forward to my team members, but also is like a great way that I can be engaged, have a conversation with a client, be more personal, and then have those notes that are so crucial for us for our follow-ups and our next steps. So those are the three ways I'm using AI as a producer.
So are you telling me that AI is helping you be more human and more present?
It is.
Wow.
Wow.
The future's now.
Technology's here.